Hi, everybody. I hope you're having a good day. I am super excited to announce that we have made it all the way to Glass Skulls episode 9. That seriously blows my mind. When I started doing this, I had the expectation or hope that maybe like one or two people, three people would watch it, and maybe I'd do it for a couple weeks and then it would like kind of fizzle out, but that's not been the response, and that's all because of you guys. So thank you so much. If you've viewed any of these videos or if you've decided to subscribe, I appreciate you, and I appreciate the time we get to spend together. And I'm working on my shorts, those little video clips for YouTube. I'm working on making as many as possible, as quickly as possible, because I want to get to doing this live. So hopefully that will be coming very soon. Okay. Today, I want to do a quick review of the strategies that we've already talked about, and here's why. I think that there's probably a couple of them that stuck in your brain that you, like, while we were going over them, you're like, ooh, this will work for me, or oh, I'm going to try this. But then there's other ones that probably didn't connect with you so much. And I just want to give a refresher of just a list of the strategies so that it gives you another opportunity just to think about it again and, maybe figure out if you have more questions about it, or I'd love to hear like people's opinions about a strategy that works for them or doesn't work for them in the comments. Everybody's different, and that's why there are so many strategies, thank goodness. So the first strategy is protect your peace. So this is meaning acting out of self-preservation at all times. This means even if someone is your family, your blood family, if they're abusing you, if they're causing you physical, emotional, or psychological harm, they've got to go. It's plain and simple. They're traumatizing you again and again and again. And the more that you layer trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma, you will dig yourself into such a hole that climbing out of that will be more like clawing your way out of that, and it's a really long climb up. So protect your peace, okay? Don't take disrespect from anybody, especially not people that are supposed to be your family and love you and care for you. So remember that. Radical acceptance. This one was where we talked about that this doesn't mean accepting something, like saying it's okay. It doesn't ever mean that. It actually is just like recognizing that it's not okay, but it is what it is. So for me, like as a survivor of rape, I really struggled for a long time with the radical acceptance piece. I actually used to go into the hospital and I'd be there for, a couple weeks, stays at a time. And again and again and again, different therapists and group therapists and all this stuff, like they would try to kind of encourage me to use that. But I was pushing back against it, if I'm being honest. I was giving them an attitude. I was being kind of a bitch. Um, it, I'm bitter, it's hard to take away the bitterness when somebody takes something from you at such a young age. I was a 15-year-old girl. I mean, I will never be the same. And that still impacts me like 20 years later. So, and that's with loads of trauma work, weekly therapy, 14 medications a day. I mean, you do the best you can. But I am happy to report that I am very comfortable using radical acceptance. I use it all the time for lots of situations, from like small level stress situations to like, holy shit, this is a big level stress situation, and it gets me through. So that's a good one. Use your people. So my rule is all you need is one. If you have at least one human in this world that you can connect with, it doesn't have to be romantically, it doesn't have to be your family, it doesn't have to be a friend, it can be any human. But as long as you have at least one, you'll be okay. Because you see, we as humans, we're not ever meant to do this life alone, ever. And I know that there's some people that kind of white knuckle it and they don't want to talk about it, and this stuff is hard to talk about. It really is. So it's taking a risk every time you do that. But as long as you have at least one person that could be like your sounding board, the person you vent to, the person you call when you're crying and you're so upset and you just need someone to listen to you. And they should be someone that you make happy memories with too. And it's not just always them as like a rescuer for you of some kind. But use your people. That's important. Engage in something you do well. That one kind of speaks for itself. Things that bring you joy. If you like to paint, I like to paint, then I thoroughly enjoy it when I get to take out my paints and start working on my canvas. And it is kind of a distraction as well at the same time, because it's making me focus on the details of the paint and not whatever shit was giving me a really hard time before. Meditation we talked about, and we talked about how we talked about it very broadly. Eventually we'll get to some more specific types of meditation, but the point is for you to find a way to find peace. So maybe that's just sitting and taking some like slow, gentle breaths. Or maybe you'll find peace if you do a guided meditation, like feet inside your shoes, the one that I was explaining that my therapist taught me, and I still use that to this day. Journaling, we talked about. Journaling is great. It's something that is not for everybody, however. I absolutely understand that. And on our last episode, I showed you, my kind of varieties of how I go about journaling, because I'm all over the board with it. I have my burn book for my really like cruel spitting venom, like I'm so angry, I need to get these words out somewhere safe. And then like my positivity, like what I'm grateful for, that kind of journal. And then I have guided journals with prompts. So I like to mix it up, but I don't know, if you've never tried it, I'd say don't knock it till you try it, because you never know. All right. Music is always something I'll bring up, because I believe it is the like most universal coping strategy on the planet. There's something for everybody. It doesn't matter what music you listen to. It doesn't matter how long you've been listening to it. As long as you can find peace in it, that's the point. Or if it can help bring you down, if you're feeling like really upset, if it can like kind of chill you out and like just bring you back to earth. Sometimes that's what I need more than anything. I could literally put on the same like 3 different albums, and by the time I get to the end of the album, I feel just about all the way better. So it's really, there's something to be said about it. And I have lyrics to share for today too. Lastly, we talked about distraction, and I know I touched on that a little bit ago, but distraction is just like, don't make it complicated. It's meant to be very simple. It's doing anything to distract your brain from the current like spinning, intrusive, stressful, looping thoughts that are going around up there, and you feel like you're trapped on a roller coaster that you didn't want to get on. And maybe you're hearing, I don't know, maybe you're someone that hears voices when that happens. Maybe you're somebody that you dissociate from yourself and you can't attach with reality. This is all really hard stuff. Distracting yourself is one of your best bets, because the more that you can get like really engulfed in really anything else but focusing on those thoughts, then you're winning. And that's how you take your life back. Like it takes practice, it takes time, but that is how you take control and take it back. And you don't let your brain just run everything that's going on in your brain. Like, you have the power to impact your own brain as well. And that's a powerful thing. And I hope that you think about that and you feel empowered. All right, so today I want to teach you about a stop thought strategy. It literally means like stop, like a stop sign, thought, like in your head. So stop thought. So I was just touching on intrusive thoughts a little bit. I'm actually going to pull out scenes from my skeleton closet, and I have a quick section to read from chapter 21, Hope is Defiant. But I am proud to say that I was able and am still able at this moment to use stop thought as a strategy for dealing with intrusive or unwanted thoughts. It takes a lot of practice, but once you make up your mind that you can do it too. This is what it looks like and feels like for me. I'll be doing literally anything, but I notice it most often at work. I'll be going about my business and boom, there it is. Thoughts from a previous trauma or recent environmental stressor start to flood my brain. The next part is critical. As soon as you recognize that those thoughts are there, you must stop right then and say to yourself, I know it seems silly, stop thought. And for whatever reason, I touched my forehead. I always have. One of the things I am programmed to tell myself is stop. We are not thinking about anything else right now. We are thinking about anything else right now. So I'll tell you what, it takes a level of self-control I didn't know I had. I already have used this strategy once today, and it worked seamlessly, and I was able to win that battle. And I'm proud as hell of that. So that's just kind of talking more about those types of thoughts. So I don't know how many of you guys have ever experienced those. Like there's such a spectrum of it. I have like intrusive thoughts that kind of just like spin on a loop in my head, almost like a record player, just always going around. And like the types of like stuff that goes around and around is very graphic, is very unwanted, is very disturbing. Like so much so that I would tell you as an example, but I don't want to like freak anybody out. I really don't. So for the stop thought strategy, you can basically just snap yourself out of it. Like put it like I don't know, for whatever reason the touching the forehead thing works for me. I always have done that. That's how I was taught it when I was a little girl. But like being able to just recognize like, oh, these thoughts are looping and these are really shitty thoughts and I really want them to go away. You can think, stop thought. Okay, we're not going to think about that right now. We're going to think about literally anything else. And that is how you win. That's how you take your life back. So, definitely a good one to try. All right, the lyrics that came from what would have been chapter 21 are from a band named Paramore. And the words are holding on to patience, wearing thin. I can't force these eyes to see the end. If only time flew like a dove. Well, we could watch it fly and just keep looking up. And I think that when I heard those words, what it meant to me is that, you know, when they say, if only time flew like a dove, like, to me, that's almost like a metaphor. Like, if only life was like this beautiful, like, happy, wonderful place all the time, and it was not bringing you so much pain, you know? But though we can watch it fly and just keep looking up, I really hold on to the keep looking up because I feel like that's what you have to do. I mean, people say it lots of different ways. They say one day at a time, they say live in the moment, all kinds of stuff like that. And keep looking up, to me, that's giving hope. right? If there's still hope that something different might go your way, then that's good. That's good. All right. Lastly, and this is going to be quick because I only have like negative minutes. um, Today I wanted to share something to emphasize as my why. I know I typically say that it's hope, and that totally is like one of the biggest chunks. But I was thinking about just some of the toxic people in my life that I've experienced, and like what, like why do the work? Why, like, put in so much effort, like give so much of your heart and soul into sharing your every thought with these mental health professionals, taking pills, going to different treatments. There's all kinds of stuff that can be going on. And I just I was thinking this time my why would be about having better relationships, like healthier ones, and opportunities to start again brand new. Um, I totally believe that everybody deserves at least one second chance, like one mulligan, one do over. I'm very grateful because I've had two of those. And I can share more about that in the coming weeks. But um, yeah, I think that starting again brand new, I mean, that's hope in itself. So it kind of made its way in there regardless. Um, I hope that some of the things that I shared with you today resonated with you. Um, if you are somebody that is a recovering addict, I just want to give you a shout out really quick, because when I think about like shedding my skin and becoming brand new, I think about when I, kicked drugs ass and I got off all those bad things, and I'm 11 years and 6 months clean, and that will never change. But I'm I was willing to go to rehab. I was willing to do the work, and I mean that happened when I was a 24-year-old girl, so 11 years ago. Um, but I got to start brand new. I got a fresh start, and you can have one too. And it doesn't necessarily have to be pertaining to addiction, obviously. I just think that one is a very easy example to kind of like see the mirror of that one. But all right, guys. Well, it's been nice hanging out. It's been like 18 minutes, so I won't keep you here forever. But don't forget to subscribe or like if you are enjoying these videos. And don't forget about the comments as well. It also, if you have any requests for certain things for me to talk about, like certain disorders, certain diagnoses, certain medications, I'm open to talking about anything under the sun. So if you drop in the comments like, hey, I'd love to hear about some examples of antidepressants that you've had a good experience with, like I'd be happy to share that, just as an example. So don't be shy, okay? All right, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your morning, afternoon, or evening, depending on when you're watching. All right, bye, everybody.